Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, yesterday we had a very nice map indeed, and we're going to follow it up today with another very solid map. It's not half bad. There will be one or two things on this map you might personally want to change, certainly a couple of things that I would want to change, but all told, I think you're going to be quite happy with it. Now, as a creator, we have done 4 times in the past. We will talk about that as we do a little flyby, because, well, we do like to know what we've been dealing with in the past, and I want to know what I'm dealing with in the future. Your future actions are important to me. And if hitting the like button was something that you were doing now in the past, then thank you very much for your assistance, and I approve of your actions. Today's map is Moonlight Ridge by gomark. gomark is that creator we have done 4 times previously. Loving the name Moonlight Ridge, very strong, solid name, and a very strong, solid thumbnail. There's your start square. Start square looks pretty solid to me. Water and highway and plenty of flat buildable land as well. There you go in terms of the terrain heights. Lots of buildable land there also. And then we have resources splodged. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you know where you're going for them, that works for me. Okay, off to the workshop. Not too much to subscribe to, network extensions 2 being one of those things. Laviante 2 theme is one we're using today, and the Relight Average LUT. The animated sea foam is there, and as well as some sidewalls and stuff. DLC. Now, if you've got Park Life, bonus. You get a little bonus in today's map. If you haven't, don't worry. The map won't be missing much. I'll get to that as we do the latter flyby in tail end of today's show. Now, intersections. Most of the intersections on this map, if not mostly all of them, are hand-drawn. And they're all a little bit, well, like this one. It looks a little bit loose and awkward, doesn't it? There's lots about this that I'm just uncomfortable with. That said, is there anything wrong with it? Nope. Nothing wrong with it. I just feel that the design is lacking a little bit of the top level flair. Now this bridge, you could argue this is a perfect bridge because there's nothing really wrong with it. You could also argue about the suspension bridge in the middle section there. I know a lot of people in the comments have said it's got nothing to grab hold of. It needs to grab hold of something at ground base. I get that. I do get that. But of course, we are talking about vanilla rules, and you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief with suspension bridges like that, because that's what we have to play with. Okay, go marks for previous maps that we've reviewed were in episodes 631, 649, 666 and 729. Oh, we've got a little rest area here. This is nice. It is missing something. It's missing. Let me come over here. Hang on. I need to grab one of these. Move it, grab it, copy it. Lovely. I'm going to put one about midway down here. Oh, hang on. Anarchy. Switch anarchy off, or move the tree a bit further back. There we go. And one over here. Because it's a rest area, and when us boys pull in to have a little rest, we need to relieve ourselves somewhere, don't we? I can see a queue for the tree right now. Anyways, where were we? Yes, so those were gomark's 4 maps previously. And the first 2, they got 10 stars, then they got 11, and then the last map, they got 12 stars and the seal of approval. So there is definitely an improvement in gomark's work, and I'm glad to see that. Today's map, very strong candidate as well for continued improvement. The highways are very lovely indeed. The tree placement seems, although it looks a bit spasmodic down here, I quite like it. It kind of works. And then if we head down towards the fog, which means, oh, hang on, have we missed the start square? There better be an intersection down here. Oh, yes, there is. There you go. And again, this intersection, just hand-drawn, and it just looks a little bit squinty. Like the traffic here that's going straight on has to take a right to go straight on. I'd like to see that straightened out just a little bit, as much as the game will let us. Of course, it is in the fog a little bit, so you could argue it doesn't matter, and you would be right. You would be absolutely 100% right. I think that's a little bit smooth. Again, a lot more work could be done to that. This is just a quick fix. Looks like it might even be possibly a plopped intersection, that one. I kind of recognise it, and if anything, it's slightly better than some of the other intersections on the map, so we might. Anyway, it's in the fog. We're not worried about it, are we? No. Nice little road over rail there, and there's another little road over rail over here as well. Little details that I quite like, that the rail is just shallowly passing underneath. It's very cool. And now we'll drift away from the coast. We'll have a look at the coast later. Very nice beaches, by the way. And then we got this intersection. Now this one, I think is plopped. That looks too clean not to be plopped. Yeah, highway goes off away from us there. Is Smart? What are you looking at? And then we've got some kind of sword going on down here. I'm not quite sure what or why, but it's buildable area. Okay. Not the start square though. Start square is coming up. That is our next port of call away from this area here. I would say the design there is interesting. I don't know if I like it, but I think the design there is definitely interesting. And then down there, now you're not going to like this. Okay, I'm telling you now, you're not going to like this. I'm not a fan of this. This intersection's a little bit sprawling. It looks like some sort of like water bug, doesn't it? One of those insects that like makes its way across the top of a pond. Oh, by the way, there are lots of lakes on this map. Little segue to lakes. Let me show you how you get down to the start square from the direction we're going. So we come down here, we take a right, and then we come down this road, and then it feeds in with that road, and then we go straight on down to the roundabout, and then we go around the roundabout, all the way around the roundabout, and then we go over the big bridge, this bridge here, up and over, big old bridge, long bridge ends now. And then we get another roundabout here, and we go around the roundabout here. And then we take a right here. I would say that road's a bit straight. Okay, if it was bent, would that be better? Oh no, we're getting road glitching. Okay, that's not going to work. Now I'm sure there's a way of working around this one. I'm sure I have done it in the past, but I'm going to let gomark off that one because there is no obvious fix to that one, no quick fix, but yes, I'm sure there is a better way of doing that. And then down here we have the start square. Lots of buildable space in the start square. And in the start square we have got today's special. It's the asset of the day, and it's the Telegraph Chambers Montreal by Smilies. It's a corner unit that isn't a right angle. I do believe it said in the description this is 105 degrees rather than 90 degrees. And so if you've got a slightly obtuse junction, this might be the one to fit in it. I love the detailing around the back as well. And you're going to like the plant pot in a minute as well. I'm a bit worried about the plant pot. I'm actually very worried about the plant pot. I'll get ready for factoids because factoids. Pluto. I was going to call it the planet. It's a kind of a dwarf planet, I think they say now, isn't it? Oh, there you go. This plant pot. I'm worried about that being comedically knocked off the edge onto somebody's head. Anyway, it's so far away that if it was possible to stand on Pluto, the sun would appear as bright in the sky as Venus does from the Earth. And Earth is spelt with a lowercase e. Telegraph Chambers Montreal by Smilies. That's today's asset of the day. Yeah, I'm sure the Earth is a capital E, isn't it? Like the moon is a capital M. If you're talking about a moon, then that's a lowercase m. If it's a capital, and the lowercase e is for that dirt that you like dig out your garden. Yes, I'm sure we're a capital E. Anyway, intersection looks all right actually. Okay, I won't moan about that one. We'll skip over that one. Not too much to moan about. And then we'll head off this way. Now, something up here I think it's kind of good and unnecessary. If that makes any sense. I'm sure it makes loads of sense to somebody. This retaining wall on the left-hand side here. Right, so you don't want those rocks and still the gravel and whatever coming down onto the road from that ridge. I understand that. But why go to all that effort when you could build a road straight down here further away from the hill? I just find that peculiar. I mean, it's a nice idea, and I'm sure gomark has their reasons. They've probably got a visual in mind. Oh, well, 6 lanes into 3 never goes. Never goes. Again, this looks like a hand-drawn intersection to me. And 3 lanes into 6 is also never goes. And then we'll head off this way towards our tunnels. Now these tunnels do go somewhere, but where they go to is literally right at the edge of the map in the fog. I'm going to leave the fog switched on because there's nothing to see out here apart from you can just about make out there right at the edge of the map. Also a bit further up here we've got another one over here, which is the rail, and that goes straight into tunnel, and that emerges over here. Let me spin the camera around so you can have a look at the tunnel entrance. There we are, and that looks okay to me. And then we can follow the rail along. Now, if you've been enjoying the road trip, the rail trip is going to be as long, but we're going to speed over it a little bit faster than the road because, well, honestly, there's not that much to see. Things like, well, we've got a perfect little rail bridge there. Yeah, I would say that's okay. And then there's no trees on the line. There's no encroaching foliage. And this just rushes its way across the landscape. Beautifully done. Quite happy with the trip. I'm missing a catenary there, just the one. And then I do believe, who was it? Somebody, one of the great creators told me how that comes. And that's when you build it in one direction and then you build the rail in the other direction and then you get a missing catenary. Also, I'm missing a rail pillar there, bridge pillar there. And I would like to see that replaced just about here. Just to add a little bit more support to the road. Not critical. Also, these junctions are a little bit sharp. I'd like to see them just smoothed out just a fraction. Not a huge problem. I'm sure we've seen that in many a map and I don't mention it. Oh, did you see that? We got a little conurbation. Well, I think it's abandoned. But again, it's not too much to talk about. But it's just a little feature that is so easy to skip by. And just adds a little bit of life to a map. Just a little bit. Where were we? Yes, now look at the mountains in the distance. I'm loving this view. In fact, this is going to be thumbnail. This is definitely going to be thumbnail. Look at that loop of the river with the mountains in the background. Those are great mountains. That's a lovely, lovely river. In fact, as rivers go, I mean, it's fairly bog standard, but it's also got it's got a feel to it. It feels real, albeit just a bog standard river. Sometimes you don't have to go to the next level. I mean, yesterday's river network was glorious. This is a better river for gameplay, arguably, but in terms of the amount of water that's going to be flowing through it. But anyways, I digress. We now head off in towards the fog. It's got to be a time for an intermission with Zack. Settle back, I'll be back in a moment.
Are you having trouble keeping roundabouts around when you connect other roads? Do you wonder how on earth do other people manage this? Then you need BonBonB's Guide to Perfect Roundabouts. Click the information button now.
And so back to Moonlight Ridge by gomark and shipping routes. Not too much to moan about shipping routes, apart from what we're missing. This is a perfectly fine shipping route. Then we've got this connection here, that's all fairly fine as well. No, that's fine, all good. And then this just loops around this way, and it follows the coast all the way. A bit close to the land there, but not too bad. It's fine, it's absolutely fine. Water flow, as mentioned before, we've got fairly strong water flow going down the entire river length. It's just one river, it doesn't fork, there's no confluences, and it just goes straight out into the ocean right there, and that looks very nice to me. So now the map as a whole, loads of buildable areas. I'm loving the lakes, I'm loving the rivers, I'm loving the overall general aesthetic. Like, I mean, this lake here, just look at this. Now, as a lake, it's nothing special. It's really not. Oh, we got a little feature in the middle there. As a lake, it's nothing special, but it looks and feels very natural, and looks and feels as if it actually belongs. On top of that, it doesn't encroach into the main build plane. Down here, we've got another lake that looks lake-shaped, lots of greenery around it as well. Everything about that feels right as well. What other lakes have we got? We've got this one. This one makes a lot of sense. You can see where the water will be running in off the hills and mountains, and just accruing in there. And up in the hills here, we've got a couple of other little lakes that make sense for their actual locations. So the lakes make a lot of sense. This is a plus point for me, you know. What else do we like? We like islands, don't we? Oh, we like an island. In fact, all the islands again have very interesting shapes about them. Some of them are buildable, like that one, right by the river mouth there. So maybe some kind of harbour area, possibly. Then we've got, ooh, look, it's the essential lighthouse. Lighthouses are essential, don't you know? He's done quite well in the location that I agree with. And we've got some kind of track marked out. I'm probably decals, I'm not entirely sure. Well, that may, it's probably drawn in with resources, ore or oil or something like that, I imagine. I'm not going to check, I'm not that worried. This island's a lovely island. We've got a big buildable area. Plus we've got, let's just check the jetty. Yep, okay, good jetty. Good jetty. Excellent work on the jetty. Yes, we've got a large buildable area. We've got the rough edges of the island as well, and these like raised areas and accessible areas around the back where you go into cliffs and drops there, and a couple of rough little islands around the back as well, which are just great little aesthetic features also. So there's a lot going on. It could easily have just been left as empty coast. I think that really works. What more have we got going on? The beach with the animated sea foam. Look at that sea foam. Look how animated it is. Yes, great work. I think that's Ronix's work, isn't it? The animated sea foam without checking. Yeah, if it's not you, Ronix, I apologise to whoever has been overlooked. I'm sure it is. What more have we got going on? We've got this patch of ore. Now I kind of like this. Just right next to the highway. The highway tunneled through, and we've got digging right next to the highway tunnel, but that's fine. And then you've got access to the rail as well, which is going to be great for industries. What is missing for me? I would love there to be a shipping route up the river. It'd be great to be able to access the shipping directly. Admittedly, you'd have to do a lot of work with the river crossings, but yeah, I've got issues with that. Let me take you out on a little drive, little jinky janky there, mine little jinky janky. Then we're going elevated to go across the river. Now this isn't going to connect up with the highway. This is going to like a national park area, for want of a better phrase. Now this I don't buy into so much. We are S-bending around to climb up the hill. The question is, would a more direct route have worked? Now looking from here, possibly. It just feels the whole road here is just drifting around almost aimlessly. But we are actually climbing up quite a bit of a steep hill. So credits to GoMark, I think. I think they've kind of just about got it right. Just looks wrong, you know? But I think they're right. Then up here we have got, that Park Life asset. If you've got Park Life, this viewing platform will be in place. If you haven't got Park Life, then you'll just have to imagine looking out over the area. Now imagine once this area is built up, imagine it at Moonlight. Yeah, Moonlight Ridge here. You imagine the skyline with all the lights are twinkling. That would be really lovely. Now there is one other thing that we missed, and it's a little bit further up the rivers. We've got a couple of waterfalls. This first waterfall, absolutely fine with this, a little island in the middle. A little grumble though that the second waterfall is almost identical. I'd like to see a little bit of variation. Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is this a 1-star map? It's in the fog. Come on, it's in the fog. Why am I moaning? Why am I moaning? Is this a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Last month's Viewer's Choice is coming up on Sunday, so watch out for that one. Okay, aesthetically, I kind of like it. I'm not going to say it is a beautiful map, because it's not. It's somewhat humdrum, but I do like all the features are in here that I would want in here, and I think they've all been done well. I think the polish is missing, but I think I can give it 4 stars for aesthetics. On the low side, but it's there. Detailing. I think the detailing is pretty good, but I am just distracted massively by the intersections. I'm going to go high 3 for detail. Gameplay potential. Very playable, but I would be wanting to rebuild like various areas. I'm going to lose a star for, not give the bonus star for having to rebuild areas like the start square intersection. But other than that, I think it's a perfectly brilliant map. I mean, a perfectly brilliant map. almost so perfectly brilliant that even with the lacking detail star, I think I can still give it the BonBonB seal of approval. There we go, 2 in a row, gomark. I'm liking your work now. I'm liking your work a lot. Well done. Well, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, for joining me for another map in the What Map series. Hang around for tomorrow, where there'll be another map in the What Map series. There will, and it'll be the Quest map. And then tomorrow night, Duvo is back. Duvo is back. We're going to start working in the harbour, building some French buildings in the Frenchy area, the French Quarter, one might say. Anyway, I've been BonBonB, you have been very, very welcome, and I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.